It is no doubt Diddy. I'm not in any question of seeing him on that video. And so that's going to be very, very difficult to spin that.
Here's the thing. When they filed this lawsuit against Diddy, I have to imagine her defense team knew about this video. And I also
100%.
have to imagine this is why he decided to settle. He didn't want this coming out. And we don't know what else there is.
Okay, I'm going to speculate. And this is straight speculation. But if you ask me what probably more there is, and this is why I'm saying that I think Cassie I think she crossed her T's and dotted her I's before she ever even filed this lawsuit. And who knows how long this went behind the scenes where they were probably trying to get a settlement before the filing even happened. I do think she has more things. And if you read the lawsuit very carefully, you could kind of you could kind of get like a hint of what she probably has. In the lawsuit, she says, videos. Okay. Now, during the freak-offs, in addition to directing Cassie and masturbating, Mr. Combs used his phone, laptop, and tablet. So this thing is filming on 3 devices. This nigga thought he was the Steven Spielberg of the freak-offs, right? To film Ms. Ventura having sex with the hired sex worker. He treated and forced the encounter as a personal art project, adjusting the candles he used for lighting to frame the videos he took. While she quickly deleted any photographs or video of sex acts if they were taken on her phone. That's a very big clue right there. So if Diddy was also recording with her phone, and I know she's saying she was deleting them, she probably had a couple up in there. Let's be honest, right? That would make sense. Now, if she had videos of these, got 40 dudes in the corner all jacking off, waiting to fuck her, and Diddy's in the other corner with 50 things recorded, and he's lathering up his cock, jacking off to, again, I think she has videos. I do think she has videos of these encounters, right? Which, again, I think that probably was one of those things. It can't just be, not saying this wasn't bad. Of course, this is horrible, right? Like the video of, Diddy hitting her and dragging her. Horrible, extremely horrible. But I gotta think that she probably had a little bit more. Yo, what case you ever seen get settled so expeditiously? Yo, if you're sending a wire, sometimes it'll even take a day. Nigga, the shit got filed on Friday, and by Saturday, Cassie was putting out a statement and said, hey, you know what, the shit's over. We've came to a mutual agreement, settlement. And you're like, huh? So I have to believe there was probably more things. I think there was actually videos, if you ask me.
He didn't want this coming out.
Let me grab some water.
And we don't know what else there is.
I could not agree with you more. They had to have had this video. I think they must have. I think it's why they settled so quickly. But I don't think he ever imagined that this would come out, to be completely blunt.
And remember, when they settled this lawsuit, his team at the time, through Benjamin Braffman, basically said, I don't want this to be an acknowledgement of any wrongdoing. But Cassandra Ventura's team made it clear this doesn't mean it doesn't take away from her allegations. And in fact, Douglas Wigdor, who's her attorney, released a statement after this video came out saying, the gut-wrenching video has only further confirmed the disturbing and predatory behavior of Mr. Combs. Words cannot express the courage and fortitude that Miss Ventura has shown in coming forward.
Hey, Chad, let me ask you a question. And I'm asking this question just as more of a poll, not because I have any agenda or I feel any way about the answer. Is it scummy? Is it scummy? Is it scummy to file the lawsuit, get the settlement, now that you can't, because, obviously she signed a non-disclosure and, now she can't speak on anything about it unless it's to the cops. After you do that and you got your money, then your best friend starts talking, which your best friend's basically like your mouthpiece. Then your lawyer is gassing everything else. And then videos are leaking, which I don't know if Cassie leaked this, nor would I accuse her, but maybe. And then also, you're also cooperating with the cops to possibly throw this thing in jail. I'm just asking, is it scummy that you finessed the nigga for the bread and you still doing all the things that he didn't want you to do? That's why he paid you. You get what I'm saying? Somebody said, nah, fuck Diddy. Southwest says, hell nah. It's coming to put hands on women. Somebody says, nah, do you see him kicking her and dragging her? Okay. The majority of people, and again, I'll just ask this to see where because before this video came to light, I remember like even Whack 100 was just like, yo, it's kind of basically saying that Cassie was finessing Diddy, right? I'll play it afterwards. Whack 100's opinion on it now. Everybody's opinion has changed since seeing this video, right? And I think even people holding out hope like maybe this is all BS. Once you see this video, I guess it's like, yo, fuck, it's a wrap.
To bring this to light, your reaction?
She is incredibly courageous. After watching that video, I cannot imagine what it took for her, quite frankly, to come forward. I mean, he was beating her. She could have been killed. I mean, I know it seems like I'm over.
I do agree with that. Him attacking her from the back was definitely cowardice, was definitely just, bro, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I could only see a coward doing that to another man, much less doing it to a woman who you're clearly stronger than, right?
Reacting, but in watching that video, that truly could have happened, and she still came forward. And I think that is absolutely incredible, and it did take a tremendous amount of courage. And I cannot thank her enough really for speaking out for other women, quite frankly, who may be going through this. And it's incredible.
And I'm so glad you said that, because so many times these allegations come out and they say, oh, these women are, this couldn't have happened. Why would they stay with them if this happened? This is a money grab. It takes, unfortunately, video like this to come out for people to believe it. Now, let's be clear. Sean Combs wasn't charged with a crime. He wasn't found liable in a court of law. But these were serious allegations that were consistent with other accounts. And unfortunately, sometimes it takes a video like this for people to believe that this happened. I'm curious now, with this video coming out, how do you think, and at the time of this recording, this is immediate reaction, how does Combs' team respond to this?
Gosh, Jesse, I guess the answer to that question is I don't know. I don't know how you respond to this. I would imagine just being consistent, right, with the other statements that I've looked at that his attorneys have put out. It's very much him being misconstrued by either law enforcement, by federal agencies. And so I have to wonder here if he's going to sort of, I don't want to say play a victim card, that's not the right word, but almost think that he has been victimized by this video coming out. It just seems to be consistent with the statements that he's made in the past. But again, I am completely hypothesizing here.
Some people might look at this and say, if this happened to her, why didn't she go to police, right? Well, in the complaint, in addition, any suggestion that Miss Ventura would refuse the FO, the freak off, or otherwise report Mr. Combs' abuse was met with ultimatums by Mr. Combs, who would say that Miss Ventura could not go to the police because she had a lot to lose. So there is this idea of this power that he had over the people in his orbit. And we saw echoes of this in other lawsuits. Rodney Jones, the producer who sued Diddy for sexual assault and harassment and sex trafficking, said that Diddy would threaten him and he would show him weapons and talk to him about how he was involved in these shootings and these illegal campaigns. And he had these, scary people that were working with him. Now we have a better understanding of, when we talk about if all of this is true, how law enforcement wasn't alerted to it beforehand, right?
Absolutely. I think she 100% feared for her life. What she had to lose was her life, very clearly in looking at that video.
Why didn't the hotel release this footage? Back in 2016, I mean, if they see this on their tapes.
Honestly, and again, I am hypothesizing here. I think when you're a powerful person, you can make a lot of things go away. And in my opinion, I think maybe he did not realize in that moment.
Hey, by the way, they did reach out to the hotel for a statement. This is what This is what the statement has said. What the fuck? Come on. Why is my computer acting up? Don't tell me my computer's not acting up. What the hell? My bad. I don't know what the hell happened to my computer just now. Okay, I think it might be this website. Anyway, I'm on Perez Hilton's website. Yeah, this shit is like a virus right here. Hold on, let me see if I can find the article again. Where's the article? What the fuck? Okay. Anyway, basically they reached out to the hotel. Apparently, People Magazine reached out, and the hotel said this. The hotel said, the hotel is no longer under IHG management, and we don't have access to prior incident records or footage. What's IHG? So basically, the hotel's kind of saying, they're pretty much kind of waving their hand like, we ain't released this shit, which means it must have been gotten before. And also, supposedly, they're saying that, I'm looking for where it says on this page, they're saying that this might have been part of the footage obtained from Diddy's crib when the raid happened. And supposedly, when the raid happened, this is part of that footage. And even though it can't be prosecuted on a state, state level, the feds might use it, but I guess, I don't know, maybe they're leaking it for other, I don't know exactly, but some people believe that maybe it wasn't Cassie who leaked it. Maybe this was at Diddy's crib on a hard drive, which that kind of sounds foolish. Why the hell if I'm Diddy, why the hell would I have a video of me committing a crime just stored on a hard drive at the crib? That sounds wild. So maybe it is Cassie.
Clearly he was intoxicated or under the influence of something, or his staff realized, oh no, there's a CCTV camera here. We need to get this footage or put pressure on the hotel. Again, I'm 100% hypothesizing this is all alleged, but I think that's why it's been sat on for so long.
You're not wrong, because now, again, this is an immediate reaction episode, so I'm going back to the lawsuit. Upon information and belief, Mr. Combs paid the Intercontinental Century City $50,000 for the hallway security footage from the evening. Your reaction?
Well, I mean, that's not at all surprising in any way, shape, or form. And if you want me to be, I guess, very...
Well, I see somebody in the chat says, well, he paid $50,000 for the footage. Well, I don't think he paid for a copy of the footage. I think he paid for the footage not to come out. Also, this ain't the movies where it's like, there's one VHS tape of the incident, right? So this is digital footage, right? Which means you could just email this. You could make copies of this, which means, again, if he paid $50,000, he don't want a copy of this. He want to make sure this shit won't come out. So I would imagine he's paying $50,000 for either them to destroy it, them to fucking delete it, or... I don't know if he would necessarily want a copy, because like that's kind of odd to just keep a copy, especially if it consists of you committing a crime on the tape, but whatever. But I would imagine he was paying for them to destroy it. It had to, not give him a copy.
Crass. I'm surprised that amount is that low for a video like that to be super crass.
That's another good idea. Well, not good idea, but a good thought. $50,000 from a billionaire who's just now. Well, I mean, here's the thing though, and you know where these things usually come from, bro. It's probably two guys working security, right, and probably a hotel manager, right, the manager of the night shift or the day shift. They probably gonna bust that down. These guys working at a hotel. No disrespect to the people who work in the hospitality field. Like $50,000, like is shit. You bust it down between the two security guards and the manager at the time. They say, let's just keep this shit hush. You know what I mean? Maybe one of them like takes a copy of the video for their own sake, but they probably bust down that money. Like again, if especially if Diddy paid them the same day, like bro, listen, I give y'all $50,000. I don't think they have the wherewithal to be like, nah, nigga, if we drop this shit, nigga, you're gonna be fucked. we need more than this, and we heard you're a billionaire. All that Ciroc, take that shit, nigga. We need $1 million, right? I don't know how it would go with $1 million. I think Diddy would have probably just got them killed, like, to keep it a bean. Like, what? Playboy, what, nigga? $1 million. All right, say less. Meet my man in this dark alley for this $1 million tonight. He ended up dead. But yeah, $50,000. What comes to mind is that it's probably 1 or 2, maybe 3 max employees that probably kept it hush from everybody else. I'm pretty sure there wasn't company emails sent. You know, like, so when there's a big incident that happens at a hotel, they alert all the higher ups in the chain, and sometimes that might even go even further than that. It probably wasn't that. Also, Diddy probably got on it so quickly that, like, shit, 50,000 is a lot, especially if some shit just happened and Diddy's like scrambling and he says, I'll give you 50 today. Just get rid of it. Right?
Doesn't this feel to you that it gives so much support to the other lawsuits?
Yes.
And whether that means he's going to try to settle these now, or I don't know. How does it affect the other lawsuits? Because it makes me feel like he might want to settle these and not fight them if this is what just came out.
I believe he will.
I think it's the opposite, man. I think it's the opposite. I think the only slither of chance Diddy got in hell for his reputation, you know, it'll never be the same again. But for him to be accepted or have some type of role in the music industry or pop culture again is for him to fight all the lawsuits. And if you know, there's going to be a couple frivolous ones, a couple bullshit claims in there. If it could be shown that, yo, yeah, he was shitty to Cassie, like, of course he won't be forgiven, but he might gain some more of the public trust if they're like, well, these other people were lying on him just for money, right? I think if he settles now and settles them all, it looks like everything they said you did, my nigga. You get what I mean? So I actually feel he shouldn't, and he pretty much can't, unless he's in the mindset of, yo, I want to protect my children and what they could possibly do in the industry. So let me just take my millions or hundreds of millions and let me just hit, like, I'm about to go to Bali with Russell Simmons. Because, again, this is looking like a mountain of evidence that's going to fuck him. You know what I mean? Carlos says so wrong. Well, why do you think I'm wrong? Why would you, again, I've maintained, and I've said this to y'all, I don't think that Diddy did everything they're accusing him of. But I do believe that the main thing, and the person who's going to be the main witness if this gets to a federal criminal level, is Cassie. What Cassie alleged, that nigga probably did do. Like, Cassie looked like she's the straight shooter. She's the one who been around, and she's tolerated the bullshit. The Little Rod nigga, I feel he's full cap. Because if he's not full cap, well, Meek Mill is gay, and then there's gay porters of other niggas, fucking like Usher and other niggas fighting over Florida Flakes and having orgies with men. Again, the Little Rod nigga was saying a lot in his complaint, and I do believe that just on a public facing type of thing, Cassie's the one who did all the damage. The rest of these niggas, he could try to over time gain a little bit more of, you know, again, this video makes it really hard, bro, but people might be like, oh, okay, some of them was lying on you, if that even matters, but he got to fight the others. You don't think so? I don't know.
Maybe settle those other lawsuits. I agree with you in that. But I don't believe the Homeland Security federal one. I think these are two different issues, in my opinion.
Criminal and civil. Criminal and civil.
And so I don't think any of the criminal ones will be settled based on this video. I just don't. I wish that was the case, but I don't think that that's the case. But I believe the civil ones, yes, I do think he will be compelled to do that.
Is this a sign in any way, this coming out, this being published by CNN, of anything about...
Okay, that was another thing that was interesting, too. Very interesting, Chad. Very interesting. Let's think about how this footage leaked. This footage leaked via CNN. Now, I don't know how CNN gets down. I do know they'll do things to, keep their number one rating on television or whatever, but they're not usually in the gossip tabloid business of necessarily, yo, let's go negotiate to pay you the bag for some content. TMZ has worked like that. By the way, I remember, how much did TMZ pay for the last letter TMZ pays for, what do you call it again? Aaron Hernandez letter. Like, they had paid, look, TMZ paid quite a lot to get Aaron Hernandez letter from jail. TMZ had to pay a sporting goods company to get the letter, or $18,000. I guess that wasn't that much, right? They paid 18. Like, TMZ will cut the check. You get what I mean? Like, if someone had this footage, I'm gonna be honest, I think TMZ would cut the $100,000 check, because that shit would have had TMZ wilding today. I don't know if that's CNN's business or their motto in trying to gain viewership or whatever the case is. Maybe it is, I could be wrong. But this is what it tells me if they didn't pay for it. If they didn't pay for this footage, which is priceless footage, it tells me that Cassie probably leaked it. Cassie leaked it, or the authorities leaked it, right? Which means, what does it eliminate? It eliminates whoever at the hotel that were security or general manager that day that probably, I don't know, maybe Diddy say, yo, here's the money to delete it. And they say, you know what? Let me just save a copy for myself in case I get broke later, or in case I need it for some shit later. Those people would have sold it. Like if you're going to bring this shit out now, you're going to sell it, right? The mere fact that it popped up on CNN, it feels like a leak, if you ask me. I could be wrong, but yeah. Anyway.
Movement in the federal case, you think?
I wondered about that when I first saw this video. Again, initial reactions, right? I'm like, are we laying a framework right now, right, for potential charges? Look, when I worked at the FBI, that's not something we engaged in, right? Like leaking videos and those kinds of things to garner public support. So I don't want to get down like that conspiracy road, but part of me does wonder a little bit if this is just to sort of lay a foundation in terms of what we're looking for in the future.
Yeah, it's I'm still kind of reacting to this. It was funny. We did an episode on Diddy and Kim Porter, the woman, mother of his children. And I listened to his eulogy, and I've been following Diddy, for a long time.
Okay, we're gonna get to this Kim Porter aspect as well shortly. T. Learney, thank you for the $10 donation. He says, too bad that from 2016, I guess he's saying this is from 2016, and the girl put it behind her, and so did Puffy, and it was settled in court already, so nothing will be able to be done about this video. It just makes Puffy look bad. 50 leaked it. Number one, I don't think 50 leaked it. Number two, no. Again, a civil case is nothing. Like, if I'm Diddy, truth be told, honestly, if I'm Diddy, this is how I'm thinking. Bro, I got some money, but I knew I was really running around here playing like literally the Joker and acting like this was Gotham City and I could get away with whatever the fuck I wanted to do. I slapped niggas. I was having freak offs. I was doing whatever I wanted to. If I was Diddy, I would be thinking like that, right? Now that we're in a different time, these lawsuits are mounting up. Hey, I'm going to try to, my public image is already burned. I'm going to try to use whatever. I want to make sure I keep the majority of my fortune. I probably do got to pay some shit out, right? If I pay out 20 million, supposedly he got like 400, 500 million. He's supposed to be straight, right? If you pay out 20, cool. He'll find some way to get back on his feet to start generating some revenue, even if it's some hidden things that he has to like not be forward facing in. Diddy will be fine. What I would be concerned with if I'm Diddy is not these lawsuits or these civil lawsuits, right? It's the fucking jail cell. Like, you don't want to go to jail, right? Like, you can't spend money in jail. You can't be on a yacht in jail. You can't play NBA 2K in jail. Well, maybe you can. You don't want to go to jail. You don't want to be like R. Kelly. Like, you know what I mean? Having to do motherfucking the Harlem Shake for a honey bun or some shit like that. You don't want to have to be over here like, I'm singing all about the Benjamins just for some extra time on the phone. You don't want that, right? So I would be thinking, if I'm Diddy, I'm with my lawyers saying, man, fuck all that shit to do with civil. How could this go into the feds looking into me? Keep in mind, the feds just executed a three-place search warrant on 3 of his properties simultaneously. They're not trying to come up empty. They're going to try to hit him with something to not look stupid. How could this help them and hurt Diddy from a, yo, you're getting charged criminally, they're putting cuffs on you shit? That's what I would be thinking, right? More than the civil cases. I think Diddy got the bread. But I think it's more of the, right now it seems so far-fetched of Diddy sitting in a jail cell, because we actually just look at him like, we almost like look at him as he's more powerful than the law, right? But some of these things, if you know, I was looking up right before I started the stream, what is the federal statute of limitations for domestic violence, right? And the federal, it says usually the feds, well, this is talking about Jersey. Okay. Federally, let me see. Federal, no, statute. Statute. Okay. So, all right. So here's the thing when it comes to federal crimes. It's usually 5 years unless it's carved out in the law book that there's longer. Like, for example, obviously sexual assault, there's no statute of limitations federally or state-wise, usually in all states. Usually for murder, there's no statute of limitations. But like, for example, like most other crimes, they usually say about 5 years, right? Yeah. Now, here's the thing. You know, maybe the domestic violence is one thing, but here's the thing. What about kidnapping, right? Because kidnapping would also fall with, nigga, you dragged her, right? Statute of limitations. Okay. And no, kidnapping does not have any because it's harmful and serious. So if we're looking at what we saw with the Cassie shit, and we're saying that 2 crimes look like it occurred there, definitely, right? One is the, you know, criminal battery or, you know, assault. That's him hitting her, right? That might be outside the statute of limitations, right? Not only on a state level, but on a federal level. But could the feds use this video if they're trying to say this was technically kidnapping and say, we're not going to go at it for the assault thing, right? We're just going to go at it for kidnapping, which this clearly looks like it is. You're dragging someone against her will to hold her in a room or wherever the freak off was going on, and that would be a federal charge. So I think that's how they're going to look at it. So again, if I'm Diddy, I'm not thinking about what you have to pay out on a civil level. I'm thinking about they're trying to put me in a jail cell, and I don't want to go in a jail cell. So I'm trying to see how any of these things that's coming out could possibly have me ended up there. And by the way, here's the thing too. Diddy has like a million lawyers, like he has criminal and also civil, but they're probably all hands on deck trying to make sure this guy does not get handcuffs put on him. Like, you can also realize that the feds probably know who they're playing with. They're playing with a billionaire. They're not playing with a bum. Yeah, they were pointing guns at his kids' heads, but when they pulled up on that man at that goddamn at the private jet, it was actually said that no cuffs went on Diddy. They detained him, no cuffs. When they detain his sons, cuffs. You get what I mean? They're treating him very different. Why? He's a guy of tremendous power and, you know, a lot of resources. And I think when they do want to make sure when they do anything with him, they want to make sure they're doing it very correctly, right? Anyway.
It's following his music, and the image that he put forward. This is a completely different person than we have ever seen. And I think that aspect of it is an important point to make, is that these allegations are shocking, but sometimes we don't know who these people really are, these high powerful people, these celebrities, or just individuals in general. How many times do we cover cases where people commit crimes you least expect it? But this... for me, I think there's no recovery from, even if he's not facing criminal charges, if he settles, there is no recovery from him.
That's a very interesting thing. We'll talk about that in 1 second. By the way, thank you for all the people who have sent in donations. Thank you for the people who are also wishing me a happy birthday via the donations as well. Let me give a couple of shout outs to some people. Cloud Hunter says happy birthday, Big Ack. Thank you. PCG Nino says happy C-Day Gangsta. Thank you. Mrs. Utopia. What's up, Mrs. Utopia? She says, hey, check this out. If I give you $10 million because I beat your ass, I don't want to hear nothing more about it. Now, keep in mind, this is coming from a woman who donated. So she's saying, in her opinion, yo, Diddy paid for this ass whooping already. Like, leave that man's alone, right? Well, obviously, here, you know what this video does probably the most, even if it doesn't get used, you know, it probably won't get used in a state, any type of state criminal proceeding, or maybe, possibly, even though I do think this will get lumped up in some type of federal criminal proceeding if it ever gets there with Diddy. If not for those things, you know what it definitely does? Like, it completely torpedoes and it completely, like, erases this guy's, you know, ability to earn income in certain ways. Be the face of brands. Be the person who could promote love. Like, the guy changed his name to Brother Love. The guy who's, you know, if you heard him on The Breakfast Club, he was professing his love for women and, oh, women get anything with me and I do anything. Like, that's over, right? Like, people are going to, this video is going to be burned in our hard drives, our brain forever. And that's going to just make Diddy's, you know, comeback. And by the way, here's the thing too, and this is how I really think about the industry, right? I know everybody's like, yo, he's done. Yo, everybody who fucks with Diddy, they still fuck with Diddy before. They still fuck with him now, and they'll still fuck with him afterwards. They're just going to do it in private. They're going to do it secretly. They won't be taking pictures with him. They won't be announcing that they're going to events that they know he's going to be. They're going to still fuck with him, but they're just not going to fuck with him publicly. Like, trust me, hip-hop is not the place where this is about, like, schoolgirls and choir kids, you know what I mean? Or, like, this is where the murderers, the worst of the worst have all sometimes even given passes or gotten a second chance. So I do think some of these people who kind of even heard some of these things about Diddy, like, most of these things heard that Diddy was putting the pause on people. Like, I'm telling you, like, a lot of these motherfuckers, they would tell me, yo, Diddy's like that. And I said, what do you mean like that? No, Diddy beat people up. You get what I mean? So it's like, I'm pretty sure nobody's shocked. I mean, they might be shocked that the footage exists, but I don't think, like, most of these people who rock with Diddy, they probably still gonna deal with Diddy. Now, here's the thing. I don't think that he'll be frontline for the audience anymore as much, but stranger things has been seen, man. You know, I think, you know, remember I premiered that King Combs song, King Combs, Pick a Side. Here's the thing about that song, and by the way, did they put it up on streaming platforms yet? Here's the thing about this song. Let me see if I can play it. Yeah, it looks like I could play it. Here's the thing about this song. They're kind of just bragging that, yo, Diddy's good. This song either told me that, and I was wondering what it meant. I was like, King Combs is rapping like maybe the family attorney has told him that, yo, we're either cleared from some of these things, yo, daddy's definitely not going to jail, or, yo, all of the bad press is about to be behind us. Now it's time to pop out and show people what the Combs do. Let's talk our shit. Right? That's what I felt that meant. You know what I mean? Because other than that, like, how do you drop a record kind of like, you know, popping it like this, right?
On our downfall another time again. After the rain fall, the sun gonna shine again.
That's right.
Don't bust no U-turns, cause we ain't forgetting shit. And to all y'all that switch, suck my dick!
Let's go. Yeah. Suck my dick.
Yeah, I mean, once you're coming out with a song saying, like, that's usually middle finger to the people who thought I was going to jail, right? Like, that's like Troy Ave, who's like clowning Taxstone because Taxstone gets found of guilty. Like, it sounds like a triumphant anthem, right?
What? You talking down the family name, man, you wildin'. What? I dare one of you niggas scream out no Diddy.
Fuck that.
Yo, this line was crazy. I dare one of y'all niggas scream out no Diddy. I think CNN just screamed it out. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I dare one of you niggas scream out no Diddy.
Fuck that nigga.
Bro, glow with me. Baddies, they ready to go with me. I just nod and they know to go get them. Might see me with some pretty hoes with me, but ain't no hoe with me. I just lay back and that Virgil made back. That shit like 450. Police raid the crib like they think we selling crack. But we out here selling tracks. Multi-million-dollar plaques. Rather put this shit on wax. All that gossip shit is whack. When all they had was 50 Cent. Who put this city on the map? Stop lying. Pops been hated on by many men. And nigga, that's fine. They gon' try to stop these Eminems, and they gon' die trying. Pull up to the south side, we locked in, we got ties. Don't give a fuck about no blogs, cause we really outside.
Well, I do think they care a little bit about CNN, but
No blogs, cause we really outside.
Hey yo, CT, what the fuck these niggas talking about? Niggas say it's wartime, then it's war, nigga. What we doing?
this is probably the worst time to say it was wartime. I can imagine the feds be like, it's war, eh? Oh, you think you're at war with us, eh? Okay.
Niggas playing with niggas' names and all that. Fuck that.
Broke nigga, I don't know who even birthed these hoe niggas. All that woofing on the net, well now it's time to show niggas. Steady talking on the fam and
Yo, again, you know, I know a lot of people have looked into like the sexual deviancy part of it, but I think people kind of ignored a lot of the, the allegations of violence, right? Because if you're being accused of violence or threats of violence, I don't know how clear you might think you are from those allegations for you to get on a track and be like, yo, I'ma fuck y'all niggas up. Like, yo, that's probably, nigga, it's a reason why Diddy changed his name to Brother Love, right? He was trying to give the illusion of, nah, it's all about peace, forgiveness, I'm a nice guy.
been on the net, well now it's time to show niggas. Steady talking on the fam and we don't even know niggas. But go ahead, play one call away. We ain't sparing no
that
nigga.
shit dead.
Count bandos in my Gucci sandals. These niggas is sick. Probably hating cause we rich. He must think we fucked this bitch. Knock them walls down like when them Fetty boys ran in both our cribs. Too bad they ain't know we bought the one next door cause that's the one they miss. How y'all talking like a nigga time up? Throwing
That was also crazy. Yo, they didn't get the next house.
Shay, get your shines up. Asking where my pops at, he on the G6 getting the line up. Oh, you pussy ass niggas line up. Let's multiply the lies up. We running shit, this bad boy, make a bad bitch want sign up.
Okay, at least he didn't talk at the end of the track.
In order to get back from this, you think he's going to be
I would hope
accepted
not.
by Hollywood business?
I would hope there's no recovery for this. Beating a woman, beating anyone is entirely unacceptable. And I do not believe that you should be accepted back into those circles. I mean, this is just appalling.
Okay, Tracy, I have to ask you, 2016, can law enforcement pursue charges? Can they go forward with charges after this?
Honestly, because I'm just now, obviously seeing this, I have not done enough research, to say whether or not. I don't believe statutes of limitations have run out in this. I think they can, but it's kind of up to them.
So if we say this is assault, again, guys, I'm literally looking at this. The statute of limitations for simple assault is 1 year, I think.
I don't think this is simple assault.
Sorry, simple assault. So this would be aggravated, right?
I believe so.
So let's call this aggravated assault. 3 years. I don't know if there's a way to toll it. I'm not sure. But, it's just.
Hey, and, to answer the first question that they had said, like, is Diddy done? And I'm not being biased at all, but I'm just being realistic. I think the video, obviously, the video is so crazy. The video is so crazy. Again, this video is terrible. But you know what we're seeing, and this is why I don't think a lot of people, as much as you think, are going to either really, obviously they're going to distance themselves from Diddy because of all this shit. But, bro, like, think about today, right? Think about today. All right. Anyway.
About felonious assault, if we look at what the case is, I'm just curious. I'm literally throwing things out there right now because I don't know.
When you say felonious assault,
because he's
felonious assault,
doing it with a weapon, right? You could argue the vases are a weapon. I don't know. I'm not an attorney, but
no. It's there could be a statute of limitations issues there, but it does make me wonder this, and I'll leave this with everybody. After seeing this coming out, are we going to hear from more people? Are we going to hear from more accusers? Are people who have been silent going to speak out now?
it's a hard thing to say. I've never been a victim of domestic abuse like this, right? And so I don't know how that feels. And I want to be sensitive to whatever women are going through. Maybe this will give some of his other, if he has other victims, some courage to come out and know that there won't be repercussions from that. But I truly don't know, because I don't know what that feels like.
Well, listen, Tracy Walder.
Okay. Let's go back a bit and let's analyze what is going on with the Diddy case currently, right? Clearly, we know that the raid happened seemingly a few months ago. Let me see if I can find. Here we go. Here we go, chat. Sorry. All right. Here we go. So, one of the recent things that happened is that, remember the drug mule, or the guy that was accused of being a drug mule, Brendan Paul, when they did the raid? He actually has gotten off of his state charges by getting into a diversion program, which is going to allow the charges to go away. It won't be on his criminal record. But if we're thinking that the feds probably spent maybe over $100,000, or actually way more than 100, hundreds of thousands of dollars to raid Diddy's house, they didn't go in there to go get this guy who was about to get on a plane with some drugs, get him basically like a misdemeanor, or maybe I can't remember what it is in terms of how serious the charges were, but it's pretty much going to get dismissed with a slap on the wrist or get dropped, right? And Brendan Paul. Okay. Actually, I'll just play this.
May have even bigger problems, as if he doesn't have enough right now, because one of his very close associates has now been charged with a
Actually, wrong. So that's when he was charged. This is when he was
felony that could land him in prison for years. But there may be a caveat here, because it could be that this guy, his name is Brendan Paul, might flip on Diddy.
Yeah, because now he could be facing some serious jail time. And now he's been charged with felony possession of cocaine and also marijuana candy.
So we should explain this. We're going to go back to the day of the raids.
Day of the raids, as the houses, Diddy's houses are being raided. He is at Miami's Opa-locka Airport, about to get on his private jet, and they are stopped by the cops there.
So here's the shot of the jet.
Yes.
Now we'll show you. Actually, Brendan Paul is there.
He's
next
in
to
handcuffed there, being walked away. Diddy's in the blue pants, and the state officials took him aside,
and they have charged him with possession of cocaine and marijuana candy. Now, this carries a pretty hefty prison sentence. And the question, why is Florida jumping like this to charge this 25-year-old?
Yeah, no, this is a huge development in this case because, as you said, during that raid, officials say they found the marijuana-laced candies and the cocaine. What he's been charged with is possession of cocaine, which, according to these charging documents, is a third-degree felony, and he faces up to 5 years in prison. That's how they've charged it, as a third-degree felony. And
Okay.
he faces...
Now, the update on this is that, and let me play the recent update, which is, where are we at with it? Give me 1 second. The update is like, he's getting a slap on the wrist, right? You know, here we go. Sorry. Perfect.
I firmly believe the feds are watching everybody in Diddy's universe.
And people are thinking, you know, is this guy Brendan Paul, did he flip? Is he already going to be working for the feds, so they're making sure his state case kind of go away? He's not going to get charged federally, but they're probably holding some shit over his head saying, you're only not going to get charged if you're going to help us put Diddy in jail. Listen to what happened to his state case, right?
P. Diddy's alleged drug mule will not face jail time after reaching a plea agreement with prosecutors in Florida. But could the feds still be on his tail?
If Brendan Paul ends up in a more serious situation, they can use that as leverage to try to find out more information about what went on with Diddy's parties and at Diddy's homes.
This is 25-year-old Brendan Paul. He's a former Syracuse University basketball player, but he's better known off the court.
Okay, let's skip through this to hear what's happened to his thing. Here we go.
Paul's attorney, Brendan Bieber, released this statement in regard to the plea. Quote, Brendan accepted the prosecution.
Okay, here's the plea. Sorry.
Quiet in Diddy's world for long. On March 27th, just 2 days after those federal raids, Brendan Paul was arrested at the airport in Miami while trying to board Diddy's private jet.
If you're Brendan Paul, right before the feds take you away, you see the feds coming in, what's the number that Diddy got to tell you to stay quiet? Because remember, you the one bringing the maybe the party favors, so you probably know about the freak offs. You bring in the fun. You bring in the cocaine. Or do people take ketamine, the weed? You bring in, you know what I mean, the fucking LSD, acid, Molly, like perks, Xanax, whatever the fuck they be doing. Shit. So you probably seen some shit or probably know some knowledge of some shit. You probably know some dates. Maybe you got like some text messages or whatever. Oh, niggas is saying 5 mil? You keep quiet? Somebody says 3.5 mil. Y'all niggas are specific with the numbers. How much hey, keep in mind, you're a fucking drug dealer, okay? Like, you're a basketball player whose career didn't go anywhere. You're a fucking drug dealer. You're not the moral police here. You're not like, oh, no, finally Diddy is going to get, there's going to be justice for the bitches he's beat. No, you're like, fuck it. I guess I'm done flying on these private jets and serving and having the cocaine like lit up for all these people. How could I still get a bag and probably hold it down for Diddy a little bit? And Diddy probably says, yo, I just need you to shut the fuck up. Don't tell him nothing. Now, that might put you in jail for a couple years, possibly, right? Because if you're not operating with the feds, they're like, you might go to jail. What's that money, that dollar amount that Diddy would have to promise you?
Paul was arrested and charged with cocaine and marijuana possession, but the latter charge was quickly dropped. Just this week, there's been movement in his case in the way of a plea deal. The bottom line, Brendan Paul will not face jail time.
And he would have been facing 5 years in prison.
That's former prosecutor Melba Pearson, who previously worked in the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office, the same one that brought charges against Paul. As she explains, Paul's plea deal included something called a diversion program.
But since he did not have anything in his past, he didn't have a criminal history, he was offered what was called diversion. And what that does is that it gives you the opportunity for participation in a program for 6 months. If you don't get arrested again, if you complete the program, so it could be drug therapy, it could be counseling, it could be community service, it could be any of a number of things, it just could be a fine. You comply, you do all of that, and then after 6 months, the charges get dropped against you, meaning that you don't have anything on your criminal record in terms of a conviction. The rest will still be on your record. You'll have to disclose that if let's say you do a job application and they ask whether or not you've been arrested, you have to answer yes. But if they ask you if you've been convicted, you can check no, which is, again, a huge thing in terms of collateral consequences and being able to move forward with your life after interaction with the criminal justice system.
Paul's attorney, Brendan Bieber, released this statement in regard to the plea. Quote, Brendan accepted the prosecutor's offer to permit his entry into the diversion program, which, after completion, the case against him will be dismissed in its entirety. The Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office also made a statement saying the plea was a, quote, standard offer to a nonviolent defendant with no priors, who was arrested for a possession case instead of a much more serious trafficking case. From the time Brendan Paul was arrested.
So, again, this is raising some red flags because they're like, yo, this guy's getting off with a slap on the wrist. But that's stateside. Now, people believe that this is a hint to mean, yo, the feds has this guy working. That's going to be also interesting, right?
did in late March to now, it hasn't been that long, about 2 months. Are you surprised at how quickly things were wrapped up?
I'm not incredibly surprised because, again, this is something that happened in Miami. This is an office that I used to work for, and I remember the volume of cases I had when I was a prosecutor, especially a line prosecutor handling that level of felony. So that is a normal outcome. That's not very bizarre. And actually, another, to put a finer point on it, I don't think that he had to testify or do anything else in exchange for the plea, right? Normally, if we see a case wrap up.
Well, and so she's saying that she don't think he's snitching. Here's the thing, though. Well, that is state court. And this is the thing about the law, right? The state and the feds could charge you for the same thing, right? And oftentimes they're almost in bed with each other, knowing who's going to go for the more serious crimes. Usually, from what we've seen, they allow the feds to take precedence with that, supposedly because the feds have a lot more resources, a lot more money to really fund case investigations, this and third. Which, again, if we're thinking that he might be in this like racketeering empire organization that they're building out for Diddy as the guy who provides the drugs to help the freak officer. He provides the drugs for the women to like stay unconscious or, you know, stay intoxicated, whatever the case is. He would still be in the feds, you know, focus, and maybe, you know, he's working for the feds for maybe like a proffer, like they probably did a proffer session and maybe like he has to do a few things or he has to testify later on. And his state case is just going to go away, which also kind of doesn't bring too much attention to him because, you know, I learned this from The Wire. I mean, some of y'all are probably street news in here. Yo, if the cops came, if all y'all selling drugs on the corner and the cops come and everybody go to jail and one nigga don't go to jail, you're thinking that nigga's working with the cops, okay? Usually they say even a person, even when they're trying, like a law enforcement officer or a snitch or a CI or whatever is buying drugs and it's like a controlled buy or whatever the case is, they're going to tell the cops, you better lock me up too, because they're going to think I told. You know what I mean? You let me out at the station, but you got to lock me up too. I got to look like I'm really in this shit, right? So the way how this is turning out is like, oh, okay, this guy, like, you know, he's getting the same treatment as anyone. But except, you know, the feds are looking at him, and the feds are probably going to try to twist that arm.
This quickly, that would be the first thing that
somebody said, ain't no way you learned it from a TV show. Bro, what do you think, I'm selling drugs in a corner? No. Where the hell would I learn that from?
I'd be asking like, oh, okay, what else did you do in exchange for that favorable plea? But looking at his history, looking at the volume of cases, and also looking at the severity of the charge, it, you know, in the universe of things, it's not trafficking. It's literally possession of cocaine with an argument that could have been made that.
Okay. And she's talking about just basic evidentiary shit that was found, right? It's not necessarily trafficking. He didn't get on the plane, right? He didn't have intent to get on the plane, but he didn't get on the plane yet before they stopped him. But here's the thing. He probably got on the plane mad time. He's on Mad Manifest before. And even if they don't have him having drugs on the plane at that point, they probably could have somebody else that corroborated that this motherfucker has been bringing drugs from point A to point B. So again, you know, like state police is not going to try to build a big ass investigation just around this one guy. The feds, that's their thing. The feds is going to have this bigger investigation of, no, it's not just him having drugs at the airport. This is a pattern of trafficking because he's done it like mad times before, and we've been surveilling him before. We have access to FAA logs and all these other things that showcases this nigga constantly being on the jet with Diddy.
This was for personal use. I wasn't trying to resell it. I wasn't trying to, you know, take it overseas or make money off of it. This is just, you know, for me to party this weekend, right? When you look at it from that perspective.
By the way, and I know I'm a little scatterbrained because I know sometimes these things get tedious and I don't want you guys to get bored and just be like, all right, what's next? Yo, they just put out a list. This list is crazy. They said this is a list of celebrities who's been supporting Diddy recently. They said all these people are in Diddy's comments condoning this shit. Here's his list. Number 1, Scrappy. And I guess that's a little Scrappy, right? I think he's a Love and Hip Hop star at this point. You got Stevie J. Well, he works with the Hitman and he works with Diddy to make music. So I would imagine he would, you know, hey, his bread is getting buttered over there. No Diddy, like all pun intended, right? Meek Mill. Okay, all right. I think that's explanatory. Somebody said that audio of allegedly Meek and Diddy has been burned in their mind for life. So number 4 says Carisha. Okay. Somebody says Kalina from Dirty Money. Somebody says Fat Joe. Somebody says Busta Rhymes. Somebody says Miss Hilton. Is Miss Hilton? That's his baby mama. Which, of course, what's she gonna do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, she has a kid with him, and probably she doesn't work, and all the financial funding for not only her kid but probably her lifestyle comes from Diddy. Erykah Badu, she I don't think she gives a fuck. You know what I mean? I'll be very honest. I remember when everybody was saying X is a bad guy, this and third, and she was just like, fuck all that. I love X. Like, you know, so I think she's just an independent thinker. But we see Bia, Rico Love, Joel Santana, which recently, we're going to get to talk about that too, Chad. Yo, because if I didn't name today's stream what I named it as, what I was going to name it was, does Drake have any real friends? It's no way that Joel Santana is the only person who has given like a really firm, and no Diddy on this, firm like co-sign of Drake given all this shit. Everybody else is either quiet or they're just acting like they don't know what's going on. So I was gonna name the stream, does Drake got any real friends? Because I've never seen a time where a nigga do need a friend and now one of his niggas says, yo, I'm only here to just tell y'all are fucking weird for even trying to put that jacket on my man. That's my man's. And me and him been in Turks and we fucked 15,000 bitches and none of them, we ain't hear that at all. And Carl Thomas. Oh, shit. They're having the who support Diddy list. This is crazy. All right.
If the outcome, the resolution, the plea makes a lot of sense and is not outside of the norm.
We have to pause this Brendan Paul story for just a sec to give you a law and crime legal
and harming people. I think that distinction would have been problematic if there was some discussion of him harming people. Then he may not have gotten a diversion plea. He may have gotten something along the lines of probation, and maybe there would have been more pressure on him to testify against Diddy in any investigation. Again, that's not to say that the feds can't call him up and say, we need to talk to you. That can happen at any point in time, separate and distinct from this case.
Is it possible that investigators asked Brendan Paul anything about Diddy, or would they not even ask at all because it was completely unrelated?
I think that it's two unrelated investigations, right? So he was caught.
Okay, and again, we're gonna kind of keep going back to this. Maybe it's my ADHD a bit. Yo, you know what's also kind of viral or getting some attention right now? This is kind of crazy. So the former Love and Hip Hop star Rocky Thunder. She used to be on a reality show, Love and Hip Hop. I think when Joe Budden was on it, and like Tahiri and what's the other girl's name? Kaylin Garcia. She tweeted out, she says, everyone that has made $1 in this industry knew that man was fucking her up and others. They said, y'all knew Diddy wasn't shit, but y'all was too busy sucking it for bum deals that you went Silence of the Lambs on it. Sick fucks. Then she tweets out the video, and she says, I had a conversation with Van Lathan in 2019 and told him about Diddy abuse, and he said he wouldn't touch it because that was his friend. Then he called Joe Budden to tell him where his baby mama was hiding from him. Ah, the days. 2024, the year of the truth. And he says, I walk with God, I'm gonna relax. You kind of get where this is getting to, right? This is about to be like a really nasty web of tying a lot of different people of either saying you're complicit because you didn't speak up or you didn't platform people that were speaking up, or it's going to be like, yo, well, what about this other guy? And we say he's been abusive to blah, 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 blah. And, you know, so it's my boy Van Lathan, you know, he responded. Van actually responded by saying, what did he say? Okay. He said, where? He said this, I've spoken to Rocky. Oh my God, Jesus Christ, this nigga wrote a fucking book. So I've spoken to Rocky and addressed both things in the order that are being brought up. Around 2018, 2019, I was hosting a podcast called The Red Pill. Around that time, Rocky came to me, wanted to do 2 separate interviews. The first one was with Gina Hua, a longtime friend of Diddy's. At the time, she had gone on Tasha K's platform and accused Diddy of abuse. I passed on the interview. I passed because honestly, it's not now or not Has it ever been the type of thing I do? Also, my podcast was in partnership with TMZ. You can't let someone come on that type of platform and just lob allegations. You're exposed to a lawsuit. If there's evidence, photos, and videos, that gives you more latitude, but I hadn't seen that. When I declined the interview with Rocky, I mentioned I'd known Diddy for around a year at that point. He'd been trying to get me to come work at Revolt. I had to tell her that because if she finds out later, what? When I declined the interview with Rocky, I also mentioned I had known Diddy around a year at that point. He'd been trying to get me to come work at Revolt. I had to tell her that because if she finds out later, it looks bad. Also, when I asked people around Diddy about what I heard, and I did, they said that I would have looked like a fool for doing an interview because she would 100% be next to him again. I want to make something clear. This had nothing to do with Cassie. The first time I'd heard any allegations surrounding Cassie was a lawsuit. The first time I'd seen any evidence was the disgusting video today. The only time I'd ever in life heard of Diddy assaulting a woman was that one in Tasha K's interview 9 years ago, in 9 years of being a TMZ. Really? Wow. So if Rocky feels like she was trying to say something and I wasn't listening, I apologize. In my time at TMZ, I turned down so many interviews, stories, tell-alls. It was like second nature. I watched the entire Tasha K interview and decided the interview wasn't for me. As far as me letting her know I had a relationship with him, I thought I had to. I might have communicated in that way that didn't do me any favors. Some months after Rocky contacted me, again, to have Sin Santana come on the show. Sin and Joe had just broken up. And Rocky said she wanted to come on the show to discuss her music. I was thinking about doing it. To Rocky's credit, she communicated clearly she wanted this interview to have nothing to do with their breakup. I couldn't see doing an interview and not asking about it. It wouldn't make any sense. Since I knew I had to ask about it, I hit Joe to let him know she would be on, and the call didn't go great. At the end of it, decided the interview wasn't for me. Too much drama. Sorry. And once again, I'd have been chasing clicks. I was never told Sin was hiding from Joe. I was never told there was allegations of abuse in their relationship. I was never even told the nature of their split. If the ex-spouse of anyone I know decides they want to do an interview with me, I'm definitely calling the person I know unless I'm told not to. That's professional courtesy. Unless I'm given information, it's a dangerous situation. Rocky says that by alerting Joe, I alerted him that they were in California for interviews, thus telling an alleged abusive spouse where his baby mama was. Only I didn't know any of that. But once again, I'm sorry to have played any part in it. I should have just declined the interview and said nothing. Last thing, Rocky is a decent lady who had this industry show her its ass. She's been abandoned and kicked around like a lot of sisters have. I have no ill will towards her because of her tweet today, but it wasn't all fair. I've done nothing to have my name connected to that video today, to sex trafficking, to drugging or assaulting women. I've never participated in or given cover to anyone I know to be doing that over the last 5 years. Rocky and I have talked here and there, and I was never even given an inkling she felt this way about me. But it's an opportunity to reevaluate how you think you're showing up and how you actually are. God damn it. My boy Van Lathan got on his eloquence tip, bro. Jesus Christ. All right. Okay, all right. I'm trying to see if he said anything more important. Okay. They said, if you're defending me, don't. Seriously, I really have no idea what I've done to deserve this, but universe don't make mistakes. I'm out. Yo, Van, man. Yo, brother. I get we in like this like weird time, man. Bruh. Yo, man. I wish I would be on social media and tell people, nah, don't defend me. Oh, hell out of here. Like, listen. Van, if you ain't do nothing, you ain't do nothing, gang. Salute to Rocky, though, but, if you ain't do nothing, you ain't doing nothing. Yo, Van is such a good guy, but I think he's scared of, like, that woke mob. He's like, yo, y'all can just attack me. It's okay. Oh, hell nah. Hell nah, nigga. I didn't do them interviews not because I'm trying to suppress nothing. I ain't do them because I didn't want to get messy. That's it. That's all you got to say, bro. You ain't got to apologize for nothing. Yo, these days, you almost got to, like, apologize to all these people. It's like, bruv. Like, bruv, bro. Like, bro, they're going to, yo, let me tell you this. The biggest sin in 2024 is being born with a goddamn cock. You feel me? Like anything you do is you're suppressing somebody's voice, you're abusive, you're complicit. Like, niggas, bruh, I'm telling you, niggas, bruh. Don't be... I don't like when the dudes just start copping pleas all over the place. Like, no, I'm sorry. No! You get what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying, like, maybe if you did some shit, but, bruh, people misunderstanding you? Like, Jesus Christ, dog. Anyway, Vamaga. I'm telling you, bro. Okay. Anyway, let me see what else they've been talking about with this shit. All right, back to this shit right here. This is about like this drug mule. I think we're all believing that, yo, this dude is working, bro. This dude is somehow working.
To decide if they want to question him and how they want to question him with regards to Diddy and the sexual assault allegations.
That leads to my next question, because Brendan Paul's arrest happened just days after these federal raids at 2 of Diddy's homes. And we know that Brendan Paul was arrested by Miami-Dade officials and Homeland Security, the same people who performed the raids at Diddy's homes. Do those two things relate at all? Is it possible that Homeland Security was keeping an eye on Diddy?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. This is a matter of trying to catch everybody they can in his universe. And again, use that as an opportunity to put pressure on him in terms of getting him to cooperate with the investigation, or again, just trying to figure out what he actually did, when he did it, and what charges can be filed against him. So it's connected from that perspective. But again, I don't see the Miami-Dade Police Department questioning him about what's happening with Diddy. That would be up to Homeland Security, basically federal agents who would be leading that particular investigation.
Paul's attorney says he's already part of the...
Yo, they are like... They so devious with like pulling up like these quote unquote receipts. Then they now pulled up a receipt where they're like, yo, they said Diddy had the nerve. They said Diddy had the nerve to thank Cassie in his 2022 BET Achievement Award. And by the way, I'm gonna tell you when I'm gonna actually, even though I do think like it's kind of over. And when I mean over, like Diddy's still gonna be rich. Like, don't get me wrong, he's still gonna have some type of role, probably in the music business or entertainment business somehow. Just maybe not as forward facing. When I say over for Diddy, it's like you're going to jail, right? Like that's what I would be like, yo, it's over. I think that would happen. Remember when Bill Cosby, all of his like honorary degrees started getting revoked? Like all the places this is like a customary thing. Like some of these celebrities go do speeches at these like universities for commencement. They'll get an honorary degree, you know, as a doctorate or whatever, just because, you know, they either donated money there or whatever the case is. Has Howard, I think Diddy went to Howard, right? Like what college did Diddy go to? What college did Diddy go to? He went to Howard, right? Don't he has like some Diddy honorary degree Howard? Yeah, in 2014 he received an honorary doctorate. Yeah, you know it's about it. You know it's like damn near over. When they rescind this, saying yo we taking our shit back. That's what they did to Bill Cosby. Remember when you couldn't stop seeing that? Bill Cosby rescind honorary degree. Look, 42 universities on the status. Look, on the status of Bill Cosby. What the fuck? Monthly article limit. What the fuck? Oh, niggas is tweaking over here. Look, Yale pulls honorary degree. Oh, these are the colleges. Here we go. Look, all of them revoked this shit. Cincinnati, Yale, Notre Dame, Boston College, Temple, Carnegie Mellon, Johns Hopkins, Amherst, like that, like it was a bunch. Is Howard in there? All right, nah, there ain't no Howard in there. But yeah, all of these, they all revoked his honorary degrees. And if that happens to Diddy, man, I mean, that would be like signs of, yeah, that nigga's going to jail.
Combs of abuse.
Yo, the way Diddy ran out, bro, I'm not even trying to make light of this, like no bullshit. That nigga ran out like, yo, Diddy, man. Hey, chat, can we do a poll? Because I know some of y'all like get up on soapboxes. After watching this video, are y'all comfortable to say you don't think that Diddy's music should be playlisted or played in public settings anymore? And will you still play his music or play music that he's either featured on or, you know, he's also owned the rights for a bunch of other people, but let's say his music. Do you think his music should be supported anymore?
Against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The video, captured on multiple cameras, shows Combs assaulting his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in a hallway at a Los Angeles.
Oh, hell nah. Chat, y'all ain't shit. Niggas said, yo, that nigga look like Val Venus with the towel, bro. Niggas said, why the hell did Diddy look like this, my nigga? Y'all niggas is going to hell. Y'all better install an AC, nigga. What the fuck? This is entrance video. Nah, you gotta see when he's walking to the ring. Why my computer so fucking slow now? I think somebody's hacking it. Yeah, Val Venus was a wrestler who used to walk to the ring with like a towel on. This nigga right here.
Doctors want to reevaluate the test. So tomorrow night on Raw, we will have an update on this.
Hell nah, Diddy wasn't walking like that, nigga. Yo, Diddy was running like
serious situation.
It's kind of the same thing though.
Doctors want to reevaluate the test. So tomorrow night on Raw.
Nah, this is crazy. Anyway.
Angeles Hotel in March 2016. A lawsuit filed by Ventura in November.
Hey, I seen someone sent a donation and they say, yo, Ak, what about if Cassie was stealing from Diddy? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Even stealing from someone doesn't really justify this. I'm going to be honest with you. And y'all know the chicks have stolen from me before. Like a lot of shit. That doesn't justify this type of, bro. It doesn't justify putting your hands on them, period. But this type of beatdown right here, bro.
Last year and settled the next day, referenced actions that seem to match those seen in this video. There is no audio. According to the complaint, Combs became extremely intoxicated and punched Miss Ventura in the face, giving her a black eye, which, according to the lawsuit, prompted Ventura to try and leave the hotel.
Yo, it's like she's tiptoeing to the elevator, bro.
Room. The surveillance video obtained by CNN begins as she enters the hallway. The complaint says as she exited, Mr. Combs awoke and began screaming at Miss Ventura. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. The complaint goes on to say,
somebody says she probably caught him in the room with a nigga. Yo, that's crazy. Somebody said, look how he kicked her again and again while she was already on the floor. Imagine his daughters watching this awful thing. Somebody says, this dude beats women, but he loves men. Somebody said, damn, nigga beating her up like she's a nigga on the street. Somebody said, the kick on the ground is the ultimate coward move. I think the whole thing is, yo, she has a hoodie on. She can't, like, she probably hears him, like, coming, but she's still, like, you know, she's like this. She can't really see. This is a blind spot, and he just clobbers her, dog. Like, you know what I mean? Like, crazy. Somebody says having sex with men and stomping out a woman is nasty work. Damn.
he grabbed her and then took glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her. In the surveillance video, Combs can be seen grabbing Ventura and throwing her to the ground. As Ventura lies on the ground, Combs then kicks her twice and attempts to drag her on the floor back to the hotel room. Ventura is seen picking up a hotel phone. Combs seems to walk back to the hotel room, then returns and appears to shove her in a corner. Moments later, he can be seen throwing an object in her direction. According to Ventura,
I wonder what that argument was about. I mean, she kind of outlined some shit in here. She said, This is something that might end up fucking Diddy. No Diddy with that. So even when she deleted the video, Combs would tell Cassie that he was able to recover deleted videos from her devices. So apparently he used to use her devices to record too. Okay. You know what I'm trying to look for right now, chat? Okay, so we know something happened in May or March 5th, 2016. When was the next time she was seen in public? Let's look up 2016 in here. Didn't she go to an award show back then? Cassie Award Show 2016. In 2016, did she? Okay, she went to the MTV Music Video Awards. When was that, though? And she had yellow hair on. Does anybody know? Remember that one awkward Cassie and Diddy interview at an award show and Cassie Diddy interview award show. I think it was, that was a Met Gala. Here we go, sorry.
What a beautiful dress you look.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to ask you, can't wait to see 3 a.m.
Yes.
The controversy.
Yeah.
How can we get a tape of this?
Oh, I'm going to send it to you. I will email it to you.
Email me the whole thing.
Yes,
I love
yes,
it. I love that you're constantly crushing the glass ceiling or crushing the black ceiling.
Yes.
You're one of the first. One of the first.
And I'm blessed to be in this industry.
Yes, and you're
I
blessed.
just try to blend it with my artistry.
Yeah, and you create that. I'm thrilled. I want to see that like tomorrow, 8 p.m. Send it to me at 3 a.m. in the morning, okay?
Yeah, definitely.
You both look great. I'll see you inside.
Oh, thank you.
By the way, here's a 9-minute version of that video. Maybe TMZ, not TMZ, CNN will tell or kind of give us.
You're going to show us the video, but first, give us some context on what we're about to see.
I want to know how they got it.
Yes, Jake, this is incredibly disturbing footage, so I do want to warn our viewers, as you did. But as you said, Cassie's lawsuit, which was filed in November of 2023 and then was quickly settled overnight, it did open the floodgates. But in that complaint, Jake, she details an incident that she alleged happened in March of 2016 at a